YouTube friends, I'm Heidi Villegas with Healing Harvest Homestead, and I am out here on this frozen day gathering rose hips. I love these beautiful little fruits of the rose, and that's exactly what they are. So one of the ways you can identify rose hips, if you are searching for them in the late fall or the early winter, is to have already identified the rose bush. So these are wild roses that grow all over the countryside here in North Idaho, and I love picking the flower petals in the spring. And as you can see, we get a plethora, tons and tons of these beautiful rose hips, which are so useful and good for us. And so if you've already identified the rose bush and you know it's a rose bush, then you know you've got rose hips. So that's pretty simple. Another way to identify them is by the leaves. They've got serrated edges, and they have thorns. Generally, these wild ones have a lot of thorns, and they're pretty invasive. They're actually very easy to identify. One of the things I want to mention too is when you're foraging wild plants, it's a really good idea to watch the plant throughout the seasons. If you can identify the flowering stage especially, that's very, very helpful when you go to forage later on. So rose hips are best harvested after the first frost. We've actually had a couple of frosts at this point, and these are perfect right now to pick. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of these little guys. As you can see, it's like a little fruit. It is a little fruit. And I saw one lady on YouTube say you can eat the middles, and she would gently squeeze this, and this beautiful plume of red would emerge. Now on our rose hips here, we have a different species of rose hips. That's not happening. And what I'm getting when I smash mine are lots and lots of seeds and some of the beautiful pulp. Now let's talk about those seeds for a moment. The seeds can have little hairs that grow around them, and I'll be honest, these are very irritating to a lot of people, so I don't really recommend popping a rose hip directly into your mouth. If you can squeeze out the inner pulp without getting any of the seeds involved, then yes, you might be able to go ahead and eat some, and they're very good. Spit out the seeds there. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the benefits of rose hips, and then I'll share some ideas with you for preparing them and working with them in your house. First off, I want to just mention that they are very, very high in vitamin C. So we have all these plants growing around us in the wild that are higher in vitamin C than oranges. And so many people want to go to the store, take their vitamin C supplements, and yet we have these gorgeous plants around us that contain huge amounts of vitamin C. Rose hips are one of them. Pine needles are another one. We'll do a talk on pine needles later on too. But pine needle tea, rose hip tea, if you need vitamin C in your life, those are the things to be taking. Rose hips are full of antioxidants. They're very, very helpful for overall anti-aging of the body. Okay, and they're just wonderful to help with that. They also support a healthy immune system. This all goes back to the vitamins and the minerals and the antioxidants, the vitamin C that rose hips contain. They are also helpful for heart health. So if you have blood pressure issues, add some rose hips to your life. You might be surprised. I have a feeling that they work similarly to hibiscus. Hibiscus is another sour, very sour, tart medicinal herb that has clinical studies done showing that they support heart health, and so do rose hips. And they taste very similar too. Rose hips might support healthy blood sugar levels and even some weight loss in some people. And rose hips are excellent for skin health. In fact, if you want an amazing oil for your skin, rose hip seed oil is amazing for people who have wrinkles or mature skin. And then just overall inflammation. It's that rose hips get into your body, and they just are a very anti-inflammatory plant. So, how to prepare them, right? It's especially since they have the little seeds. So my dog's trying to jump up here, and let's see if I can show you. Are you going to jump up there and get it? Come on, get the rose hip. Oh, I know, it's delicious, huh? Yummy. This is Jimmy. And he likes rose hips. Yum, buddies. He's eating it right now. So what I love to do with rose hips is make rose hip syrup. It's really beautiful and tasty and delicious, and it lasts in your fridge for quite some time if you use the right amount of sugar. I'm not going to go into directions right now, but I have an article on my website, how to make rose hip seed syrup, or rose hip, it's how to make rose hip syrup, and it's really a good article of clear directions, and I think you're really going to like it. You can actually work with rose hips to make a number of other things. You can make a paste with them and dry them even and make rose hip tea. You can make the tea with either the fresh or the dried herb. I actually prefer the dried herb. If you're going to work with rose hips, one of the things you might want to consider is straining out the little seeds and hairs, because like I said, those hairs can be irritating to some people. Other people don't mind them. If you purchase rose hips, you could purchase them with or without the seeds and hairs too. So you can get them all different ways. You can pick them and then process them all different ways. But rose hip syrup is probably my favorite thing to make. That and just throwing these into some herbal tea and enjoying the vitamin C benefits that way. Two of my favorite ways. All right. I hope you enjoyed this quick little chat on foraging rose hips, and I hope that you will go out and find some rose hips of your own. They're wonderful and very, very beneficial to your body. All right. So I'm Heidi Villegas with Healing Harvest Homestead. I will leave a link to my free herbal remedy guide above. In my description below, I'll also have links to other things for you. And I apologize about my dogs barking. But please subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed this. I've got lots of videos and hundreds of articles over on my website. So you can learn self-sufficiency and herbalism and aromatherapy and how to take care of yourself and your family naturally and safely. All right. I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.